Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. I'm Kathleen, and today I have brought you out to an area where the pond is frozen. I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't realize things were going to get all frozen up. This is the last day of November, but we have had a couple of pretty brisk days of minus 15 degrees Celsius back to back, so it's actually taken a toll on the water. And so I thought, oh, what am I going to see here? I'm going to show you, because it includes coyote action, deer action, and Sandhill Cranes. Now, the other part of this video, if you wait to the end, some people have been asking me about the equipment that I use for hiking with Kathleen. How do I bring the wildlife up close to the viewers? I've upgraded some of my equipment, and I want to be able to show you that. And the other thing I want to go through is what I would regard as an EDC, everyday carry, for videographers. So stay with me. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Well, so much for thinking that there isn't a whole lot going on because the pond is frozen. I mean, I did mention that I did see some deer. Well, even more exciting, oh my God, I got to see a coyote. It wasn't close, but because of the nature of the late fall, like this is the last day of November, it's because there's no ground cover to keep them concealed. So we have about 4 does that I can see. They're still in this vicinity here. The coyote was in the field, the cornfield just adjacent to that. I'm sure the does knew that it was there, but probably because the does and the accompanying fawns from this past year are large enough to be able to outrun a coyote, there wasn't seemingly great concern. Like, they didn't look like they were really nervous or anything like that. And it is hunting season. I'm out here in the county and I can hear a gunshot around me. So hopefully not right in this vicinity, but it's deer hunting season, duck hunting season. So, I mean, all of that is going around. And so, of course, these guys should be nervous around seeing any sort of human form. But anyway, just wanted to share with you that it's very exciting. You just stand still. I found a little crest here, a little rise in the land, and therefore I was able to see Sandhill Cranes flying overhead, captured a few of them in flight, and being able to see a coyote. I'm very excited whenever I have a chance to see that kind of a predator. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. So I'm out here on a different day, and I tell you, this day is a lot warmer. We had a lot of rain over the last day or so, so it's a really damp day. I'm wearing my rubber boots because I expect it to be pretty swampy in here. So the temperature is about 2 or 3 degrees Celsius right now, which is a far cry from the, whatever, close to minus 15 degrees it was in the earlier part of this video. So anyway, I'm making my way through a forest. I think because of the rain, there probably won't be anybody else out on this trail, but we'll see what other forms of wildlife might be here. So I'm just back on the trail right now. I kind of left this area because in this woodlot where I'm by myself, it wasn't long ago, maybe about 40 minutes ago, I could hear the sound of a vehicle, and it wasn't long after I could hear the sound of a couple of voices. So it turns out there were two males that came into this woodlot, and one was talking on his cell phone. So I thought, okay, I'll just pack up and I'll move to another area where it'll be quiet, because of course I'm trying to video birdsong. Anyway, it turns out, we said our hellos and I left the woods, went to another area that was an open area. So we crossed paths again as they joined me out there. Turns out what's really nice is the kind of people you meet when you're in the woods. Turns out these are two fellas that are in Ontario, Canada, doing their training for work, and they're from Missouri and Kentucky. So they were here because their training is taking place in a large urban setting. I'm here on a weekend. They wanted to get away from all the people, and they wanted to be out here in the woods too. So anyway, you just never know who you're going to run into. One of them is into overlanding, where he has a little trailer he pulls behind his Jeep. And so then we talked about some of the YouTube people that we watch that are into that same sort of thing. So sometimes what we need to recognize is we have more in common with people than things that set us apart. Anyway, I'm back to my bird watching now. Can you hear that? Nothing. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's just the sounds of the woods. And there's very little sound right now. Depending on where I'm walking, sometimes there's a bunch of chirping sounds from the birds or sounds from the squirrels. But it's very, very quiet out here, and I hope you're enjoying that with me. It's just such a calming environment to be in. Yeah. Well, I'm really enjoying my walk out here today. For the most part, there are no other sounds besides the occasional bird's song or chirp or sounds of squabbles between birds. And same with squirrels. I'm hearing very little else, certainly very little sounds in terms of traffic. And this is really a way that brings a lot of peace to me. When I'm out here and I'm just, as I'd mentioned in the last video, it kind of puts me in a bit of a zone. So I can think of nothing else but what lies before me. The sounds, the feelings, the sense of smell is enhanced as you smell the wet leaves around. Of course, the sense of sight and the sense of hearing. So this is really a great experience. I hope it's something that brings that kind of value to you too, because maybe you're an individual that would love to be out, but through your busy schedule or maybe mobility limitations, you're not able to do this yourself. So I hope to, be able to bring this to your living room so that you're able to enjoy it on maybe your big screen TV like a movie. And I also want to make reference to, there's a fairly recent follower of the channel. Her name is Susan, and she mentioned that this is where she likes to come for peace and calm. And that, by that she means coming to watch the YouTube channel when there's a new upload each Tuesday morning. There's another person who's been a fairly recent follower of the channel named Lisa, and Lisa has provided some really great specific feedback in terms of video editing, the music, the sound in general, that is the sound quality that is being used on this channel. So it's really specific feedback like that that's very helpful, because that tells me what viewers are enjoying, but it also tells me that people who are providing that kind of input or that kind of feedback are people who are knowledgeable and very likely more knowledgeable than me. And I'm just, I am a work in progress, so I am learning as I go. And so I hope that the combined efforts of the viewers and your input and what it is that I happen to see on my hikes in the woods, and Shannon, who lays all the music tracks, so she brings emotion to music clips or comedy. So she does a really great job of doing that as a final touch to a video to give it more of a movie-like feel. So I hope that all of those things together make this a really pleasurable experience for you. And just as a reminder, there's a new upload every Tuesday morning on YouTube. Some of you are folks who are watching it on Rogers TV, and I really appreciate your viewership too. In fact, that's how I sometimes, or maybe more often, run into faces that feel that I'm a familiar face in their living room on TV. And so a few recent examples, I ran into Christina and Martha in the woods, and in that same woodlot, I ran into Larry and Jackie. So I really appreciate it when people come up and say hello, or, just let me know if you're enjoying the channel. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. But right now, I'm just soaking up this sound of silence. I hope you're enjoying it too. Well, I'd like to welcome you back to our cabin. We love it out here. Just this time of year, it tends to get cold because it's not heated. We do have gazebo heaters in here. We can only run one at a time, and that does a nice job. We also have a propane heater. So for right now, though, I wanted to be able to give you an overview of the kinds of pieces of equipment that I bring with me when I'm out on my daily hikes. So bear with me as I make my way around here just to show you my EDC, my everyday carry equipment that I carry, because you never know what kind of circumstance or what might run out when you're out there in the field. The reason that I wear this camera belt is because it bears the weight of this new camera, which I'm going to talk about very, very shortly. I wear my binoculars. These are an upgrade from what I had previously worn. I'll show you these Nikon Monarch 5s. And I tell you that I'm very impressed with them because they're so much better in terms of clarity. And when you compare, when we listened to cassette tapes and then went to CDs, how much more crystal clear the sound was, that's what I'd have to say happens with these binoculars. But the one thing I'd like you to notice is on my belt, I have a pad. That's a seatbelt pad. So all that's meant to do is prevent this from announcing my presence as I'm walking through the woods. Okay, so these are things that I kind of figured out over time, and that's a very cheap thing that you can pick up, just a 3-pack actually on Amazon. Now, the belt itself is equipped with rings, so that way I can hang my heated gloves. When I say heated, it's because I stand still in the woods when I'm filming wildlife. So heated gloves are a real asset. There's a rechargeable battery that is in here. And what happens is there are 3 heat settings. Depending on, you just press and hold. So the very first setting that comes on is the hottest. That's the middle level. And I always tend to walk through the woods with the lowest level of heat. And this way, I don't remember exactly how many hours, but it lasts me for hours and hours. And you just hold it, pause. There's another piece of equipment I didn't wear out here today. I wear, when it is really, really cold, I wear a heated vest. And it has a rechargeable battery just the same as these gloves. This is the camera I'm going to talk to you about shortly, but you can see that I'm able to support most of the weight of it on the camera belt itself. But I still wear a shoulder strap, and that is something that ensures that it's going to be ready. I always have something to grab onto. This is my Rode microphone. I got this fairly recently. I got that in the summertime. It has really great quality of sound. It's unidirectional, so it focuses on the sound that is in front of it as opposed to everything around it, including my crunching behind it if I'm walking through leaves. And now I'm going to show you what I carry on my camera belt. I carry a Swiss Army knife in its holder. This gives me some tools, and if I need to make any cuts, it gives me, a few blades to choose from, a small blade, a larger blade. And there's a few other tools. So I like to have that with me. I keep it in its pouch on my belt. This is a pouch that happened to come with a spider attachment collection that I have. It's kind of a harness collection where you have easy to remove buttons that you can push in order to take these off. This is usually the kind of thing that I hang my GoPro on. In here right now, I have a headset, just a cheap headset, so that if I want to, I can listen to the sound as I'm recording it on my Canon camera. This is the EDC. Pretty well everything that I'm showing you today is something that has a link below, so if you're interested in having a look, maybe reading more about the description, feel free to check out the description of this video. So I carry a cloth. Never know when something has become wet or landed in mud, so it helps me to keep things clean. This toolkit is by Small Rig, and it's a series of Allen wrenches. Inside this, it comes in a nice little pouch. And inside the pouch, you have different size Allen wrenches, and you also have some screwdriver heads, including a nice wide flathead. This helps me if I have to repair anything on the go, including tightening up my tripod legs. Most important part of my EDC is I carry spare batteries. So this goes into my EOS M6 Mark II camera. This is an extra whistle. I carry one in my pocket too. This is my low-tech way of making sure I always have a compass. But as I say, this is an extra whistle. I carry one that's closer to me. These cloths help me to keep the lenses of my cameras clean, so if there's rain, I can give them a nice wipe. Inside here, in a zippered pouch, is where I have camera batteries for the EOS R system that I have. I also carry extra SD cards. Okay, so this way I can always be sure that I have an extra SD card because they seem to run out of room at the most inopportune time. Now, I am wearing a DJI wireless microphone, and oh my God, this is like the best thing ever because it doesn't need to be connected to anything. It's recording right into the body. But sometimes things fail, and so I also carry around a wired mic. So the reason this is such an important thing is, what if I'm doing narration and then the battery for my DJI microphone stops working? Well, I always have to have some backups. I always carry, these are the attachments that keep your lens connected to your camera. The sticky part here is what goes on the lens cover. The elastic band is what goes around your camera lens. I carry those with me because, you know, I find that those things are very easy to lose, but it would be really problematic if I lost those. So that's the kind of equipment that I carry in my everyday carry for videographers. You'll often see that I'm wearing this, especially during the colder weather. So this camera bag is what I would normally carry, the camera that I'm filming this on right now. The camera has a couple of lenses. The one I use most often, because of its ability to shoot well in low light situations, 32 millimeter lens. So again, I'm referring specifically to the Canon M6 Mark II. So I carry the one you're looking through right now, which is a wide angle lens. It's the 11 to 22 millimeter lens. And I love that for the nice wide angles when I'm doing my landscape shots. This bag is equipped with its own rain bonnet. Is staying nice and dry. So then this just hangs on over my shoulders. I want to show you another really important thing that I carry when using the camera you're looking through right now. This is a heated sock. This is the wire that connects to a rechargeable battery and allows me to be able to use my camera in the coldest of conditions, at least for a few minutes at a time. So you just push this on, it immediately jumps to the highest level, and I always run it on the lowest level, so it will last the greatest amount of time. I put the camera in that is being used right now, and I put this around it because the wires run through it and this whole thing heats up. That is how I keep my cold weather intolerant batteries going. This, folks, is my new pride and joy. It was only a couple of weeks ago that I purchased this. This is the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. It's a camera that's been on the market only since this last year. And I'll tell you, one of the big improvements over the original, which is the R camera, the EOS R camera, is it's got really good tracking. And you had a chance to see that with birds in flight. I wasn't able to previously shoot birds in flight because I shoot on automatic. This lens has been my game changer. So this is the RF 100 to 500 millimeter lens. This is the telephoto lens that I've been using for the last, since the fall of 2021. This in conjunction with this, which is also an RF camera, it's a game changer. So this really helps to bring things up close if they are a little bit more of a distance away. But this is where I would recommend, if you're going to put your money, I typically would always recommend the lens. However, because of the superior tracking, this is one that I held out for. And as I say, I held out for 4 years before buying. So this wraps up today's video. I really appreciate your time and I appreciate your interest because, as I say, I've had people who have been asking me what kind of equipment am I using, what's all that gear that I carry around. And normally I carry around one tripod. It's the Peak Design one that this camera is sitting on, but it has a Manfrotto video head, and all of my mounts will fit the Manfrotto video head so that I'm not switching that around. So anyway, thanks again. Hope to see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.